These are embarrassing mistakes that every college freshman makes. First up, we have scheduling 8 a.m. classes. I know your thought process because I did this too. I was like, I got up at 6:50 every day for high school. I can get up at 8 a.m. 3 times a week for college. No, you can't. I don't know what kind of space-time continuum you jump into when you go to college, but 8 a.m. feels like 4:30 a.m. and every time that alarm clock goes off, you will dread it and you will know that you chose this. Step is raising your hand and asking to use the bathroom. You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to raise your hand. You can just get up and go to the bathroom and leave the classroom, and that's okay. And I know it feels really weird because you are not allowed to do that in high school, but it's true. And it's actually like discouraged to ask permission because it's kind of like disrupting class and everybody's paying money to be there, so just do it. Finally, we have buying books from the school's bookstore. This is just the absolute most expensive way to buy textbooks. So many used books, there's so many free PDFs, and sometimes you'll go into class the first day and the professor will go, oh yeah, you don't actually need that textbook, they just make me put something on the syllabus. So just like wait. Unless you're in STEM and that was your choice, and I'm really sorry. These are embarrassing mistakes that every college freshman makes. Number one is not bringing an umbrella to school. It's so crucial and it's like never on the packing list, but here's what will happen. About 3 weeks into school, it'll rain really badly and you'll realize, I don't have a car. I have to walk through this rain with no umbrella or no jacket. You will get to class, you will be soaking wet, you'll look like you went to Disney World Splash Mountain fully clothed, you will shiver and shake in the air-conditioned room, all your peers staring at you, and it's miserable and horrible and I'll never do it again. Except it's scheduling 4 or more classes back to back to back. I know what you're thinking because I did it too. I was like, I did 7 classes back to back in high school. I can do 4 in college. No, you can't. You'll be a raggedy end doll by the end of those 4 classes. I can explain why, you just will. You'll want time for lunch. You'll want time to chat with people on the quad. You want to take a power nap. You'll never be refreshed like a power nap. Just leave a little space. And finally, we have dressing up for class. I know you're thinking, I gotta get the ring by spring. I'm gonna get up early and get dressed up for my 8 a.m. I promise you 2 weeks in, we'll be lucky if you brush your teeth. Airplane rules apply. We do not talk about what we look like in class. It is a solemn agreement between everyone in the class. You can impress those people on the weekend. These are embarrassing mistakes that every college freshman makes. First up, we have being roommates with your best friend. I know you're thinking, we've been besties since junior high. We're gonna be perfect college roommates. You're not. Taylor Swift said it's gonna be forever or it's gonna go down in flames, and I believe she's talking about college roommates. I've seen fights, I've seen screaming matches, I've seen people sleeping in the lobby, lots of tears. It's worse than divorce court, I swear. It's a lot easier to set boundaries with someone that you've never met before than someone you've been friends with for a long time, but you might not know all their quirks yet. Next up is not finding the location of all of your classes before the first day. I swear these buildings are designed worse than the grand staircase in Harry Potter. Room 304 is on the 6th floor, but room 302 is on the 2nd floor. Q is the basement and 4 is the roof. It makes absolutely no sense. Save yourself the stress and just do a walk through a day early. Next is missing out on the career fair. I know you're thinking, I'm a freshman, why would I go to the career fair? It's not about the careers, it's about the free stuff. Cafeteria food is gross. Go have a free pizza on Total Quality Logistics. Enter the scooter raffle. Who cares? The people there are not upset that you're a freshman. They're just glad that you showed up. These are embarrassing mistakes that every college freshman makes. Number one is not looking up their professors on Rate My Professor. This is like Yelp for your college professors, and I didn't know about it my first semester. I had some really tough professors, and at the end of the class, I looked them up on here, and I was like, oh, so this all could have been avoided, huh? Next up, we have getting into a relationship your first week of college. I know you're thinking, I met this hottie at orientation, and he's pre-med, and he's the one, and you're not gonna make any other friends. You're gonna spend your whole first 2 months of college cooped up with him in Potter Hall 105, and you're gonna go home one weekend for your sister's sweet 16 birthday party, and you're gonna find out that while you were gone, he was wooing Josie the Theta with his acoustic performance of Wonderwall, and you're gonna be crushed, but you're not gonna have any friends because you didn't make any other friends in college. So don't get into a relationship right away. Finally, we have over purchasing a meal plan. I'll always try to upsell you on a meal plan that's like 3 meal swipes a day. Unless you have the discipline of Olympian, you are never gonna be there that much. I always had the lowest plan and I had tons of meal swipes left over at the end of the year. And never ever do this because it's not allowed to bring a little hydro flask and fill it with mac and cheese for a midnight snack because that is against the rules. These are embarrassing mistakes that every college freshman makes. First up, we have over decorating your dorm. Decorate the space so you feel happy and at home, of course, but realistically, you're only gonna be living there 8 months. You don't need 16 vintage throw pillows and a custom restoration hardware dresser. I promise, and I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I helped with moving at my school and people brought moving trucks and movers and we were like, this is not all gonna fit. It's a 12 by 12 box with 2 people. It is not Extreme Makeover Dorm Edition. Except it's scheduling all your hard classes in the same semester. I know you're thinking, I'm just gonna knock out accounting and finance and quantitative mathematics and business all in the same semester and then it'll be so easy after that. No, it's not. Your GPA is going to crumble. Cushion it. Do one of those. Do some basket weaving, art appreciation. Leave yourself a little room to breathe. And finally, we have going home every weekend. First couple months of college are really overwhelming. You don't really know anybody and you get homesick, and if you only live like an hour away, it's easy to just go home that weekend and the next weekend and the weekend after that. But don't. Yes, college is about education, but it's also a lot about personal growth. So build relationships, meet people, and have fun. These are embarrassing mistakes that every college freshman makes. First, we've getting a tattoo your first week. You might think this is crazy or niche, but I know so many students that their first week of college are like, the parents can't control me anymore. I'm getting a tattoo. I know a kid that got Harambe on his underlip. I know a girl that got nothing's permanent under her chest. Like, I spy with my little eyes something that is permanent. Like, just wait a little bit. Next up, we forgetting to bring snacks for your dorm. People always forget to buy snacks for their dorm until they realize that the cafeteria on campus closes at like 8 o'clock and there's nowhere to get food because everywhere off campus is really far or they need a car to get there. And you can beg an upperclassman to drive you to Taco Bell, but it only works a couple times, trust me. I love scheduling classes that happen once a week and they're 3 hours long. There's classes that meet once a week and they're 3-hour long sessions and they look so appealing because you're like, oh my God, that's so easy. I only have to go to class once a week. No, they load your brain up with more information than a Fortnite update in those 3 hours. It's horrible. You could bring your brain as a side dish to Thanksgiving because it will be mashed potatoes by the end of this and you will not remember anything by the time it's time for class next week. These are embarrassing mistakes that that every college freshman makes. First, we have not learning how to do your laundry before going to college. I think this is basic, but I know so many kids that came to school not knowing how to do laundry. Like this one guy was washing his clothes with Dawn dish soap until we're like, you're not supposed to do that. Another girl lit a dryer on fire because she put a fake fur coat in it. And people are gonna get really mad when there's only 4 dryers for a dorm of 100 and they find out that that was you. So just practice at home. Except it's picking classes with great start times, but bad professors. As a freshman, you're usually gonna be scheduling classes last, so you might see like an 11 a.m. class with nobody in it and be like, wow, that's weird. That's a great time. Yeah, be suspicious because I guarantee if you go on Rate My Professor and you look, it's a horrible professor because an 8 a.m. start time will suck, but a bad professor will make or break the class. You do not want your GPA to plummet because you have to do a 15-page research paper on your professor's favorite font, Helvetica. And finally, we have going with a random roommate. And this can work out, but it can also go so wrong because you do not want to get stuck with somebody that's going to get up at 4 a.m. every morning and go bird watching because that alarm will wake you up too. Or somebody that saves all their toenail clippings on their bedside table. Or somebody that stumbles home at 3 a.m. every morning and spills their potato water guts all over your new home goods carpet. These are embarrassing mistakes that every college freshman makes. So we have walking into the wrong class. And you're thinking, I found all my classes in high school. How hard could this be? Yeah, you were playing Splatoon 2 and this is Call of Duty. Campus is 2 miles long. All the buildings look the same. And this is not the Denny's. No one's wearing name tags. You're going to be 30 minutes into a lecture about to give the hands-on portion of frat dissection, just now realizing that this is not your microeconomics class. I always like to walk my schedule the day before. It just makes things easy. So we have not budgeting and spending all your money the first month. Mom give you $1,000. You are feeling rich. I promise you, you do not need to impress all your friends with the most expensive potato water that they have at the 7-Eleven. You can barely taste the battery acid or the 50-piece chicken McNugget. You will regret it in the morning. And mom is not going to be happy when you've been ignoring her calls for a week. And then all of a sudden, mom, who knew printer ink was so expensive? Huh? Finally, we have missing class registration. This is literally worse than buying One Direction tickets. You've got a 10-minute window where class registration opens up for your whole grade and it will make or break your semester. So if you sleep through it, well, I hope you like 8 a.m.s because that is all you're going to get. These are embarrassing mistakes that every college freshman makes. So we have using command strips to hang things up on the wall. Every college is like, use these command strips to hang up decorations in your dorm. They're the best, but they're using cheap paint. At the end of the year, you're going to rip the paint off the wall like a Brazilian wax. And then they're like, oh, sorry, we have to repaint. We have to charge you $400 extra. No, just use a push pin. It makes a tiny little hole. And then at the end of the year, cover it up with a bar of soap. It works so much better. Next up, we have buying too much school swag the first week. And you're excited to start school. You want to get all your merch with the school's logo on it, but you do not need to go on an Elwood shopping spree because I promise you over your 4 years, you're going to get so much free swag from the school, whether it's homecoming t-shirts. Every club you're going to be in is going to have their own logo. Basketball t-shirts. You will get so much free stuff, so just save your money. Just get one sweatshirt. Finally, we have putting things in the microwave that do not go in the microwave and setting off the fire alarm. No styrofoam in the microwave. It's going to be very embarrassing when you set off the fire alarm at 2 a.m. and everyone has to evacuate the building and they're shivering in the cold while you desperately try to explain them that you were just trying to melt chocolate in the microwave and you didn't realize that it would just burn instead. Now Rebecca's crying and she's blaming you that she's going to fail her exam tomorrow because she's not going to get any sleep. These are embarrassing mistakes that every college freshman makes. So we have hanging things on the sprinklers in your dorm room. I know you're thinking, oh, my shirt needs to air dry. How convenient. I'll just hang it up here. Don't. It will immediately set it off. And you know, it's not a good way to make a first impression with the roommate that you met 2 days ago. Soaking all of their belongings because their $2,000 laptop, not a good swimmer. So just hang it on the doorknob. Except we have not checking your grades online until it's too late. Professors are people. They make mistakes. That assignment that you got 100 on, oops, it was put in the grade book as a 10. Pretty easy to fix until it's submitted at the end of the semester. Then it's very difficult to fix. So just keep an eye on these things. And finally, we have taking a bad ID photo. They're so nonchalant about it. They're like, oh yeah, stop by campus security and take your ID photo. No, that photo is going to haunt you worse than a high school rumor about a midnight rendezvous under the football bleachers. Seriously, every time you go into the cafeteria, every time you flash it for a student ID, you are going to see that picture. It's honestly going to be worse for your self-esteem than that stupid white teeth filter. So get the glam squad out, take a good photo, or take a really bad photo so they're like, oh wow, glow up.